Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in bright and early for another awesome indie comic interview. It's your host, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with Karim Sissoko. Did I say it right?
Sissoko.
I knew it. So close, though. So close, but at least he came up with the alley-oop. How are you doing? Good morning, and my apologies about butchering your name at least 5 times.
That's fine. It's fine, man. It's okay. You know, it's unique. So, you gotta make people struggle a little bit at least. So,
so how are you doing, man? Give us a little bit of a breakdown of who you are, and then we're gonna be diving into your awesome webtoon called Eclipse.
Yeah. So Eclipse is my webtoon. It's my webcomic about me. I am. My name is Karim Sissoko. I've been doing art for honestly since I was a kid. I've always wanted to do comics and stuff. You know, it took me a little while to realize it, but I'm born and raised in America. In East Coast mostly. I've been staying here. I'm Haitian. Got the flag up here. Got to represent. My father was African. Yeah, we've been living here for most of my life. I've been pretty much staying in the same spot.
No, that's awesome. So how did you end up coming into webtoons? What kind of drove you in that format? I'm kind of fairly new to the webtoons aspect myself, so I mean, feel free to kind of give a breakdown of what led you there, what webtoons is, and kind of just, I guess, everything in between.
Well, webtoon is a platform for people who want to make webcomics, basically. So if you have a comic idea, honestly, it's a great place to, I think, just start up. You just jump right into it. So you just get into the process of drawing, making the comic, and you post it. Whether you have an action comic, a gag comic, you want to be have some funny stuff there. Anything that you really want to do. You just hop into there. Me personally, I actually used to write books, and because I didn't have the greatest influences when it came to drawing. Some of them were good, some of them were bad, and so it convinced me that I couldn't really draw very well, and so it was very discouraging because the thing about drawing is that it's a lot of practice. Practicing is key to get better at it, and the thing is that came to be real over the past year. After drawing every day, you see it improving. You're oh, actually, they're right. You don't like hearing that though when you're starting up. That hey, just keep drawing. It's the worst thing you want to hear. But
so you started this in November. You said 2020, and then first uploaded around February 2021, and you're already up to 60 episodes. That seems like such an insane amount of work. It just seems like you just started and you kind of just ran with it.
Yeah, man. When I take something, I get the ball and I just start running, and I don't exactly stop. I wanted to upload monthly or bi-weekly, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I think I could do weekly. And I kept it up weekly, and I mean, here I am right now. I'm on a hiatus, but we come back on the 14th, so in a few days actually.
So what type of books were you writing before you dove into webcomics? What was kind of some of the main themes and stories like?
Well, it was a fantasy adventure story. Eclipse was also going to be a book, but we'll get into that in a second. But it was a lot of fantasy adventure, kings and queens and stuff, also mixing with modern day magic, things like that. And so I wanted to write that, but it didn't translate as well as it could have if it was a comic. And I think part of me knew that, but part of me was too scared to hop into it. But a friend had a friend of mine, close friend, he's on Twitter too, Austin. He was
Austin
really,
Graham?
No, Austin Whitaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just my friend Austin, one of my first interviews, he actually was doing a webcomic. I was like, what would have been the odds of that? That would have been just insane.
That would be cool. No, but he's an awesome artist on Twitter. He's getting his animation degree. He just graduated actually. But he he was telling me, he's like, dude, this idea, because I was describing to him the idea of Eclipse, and he's like telling me, this is so great, you need to draw this. And I was like, no, I can't.
Nah, quit
And
playing.
he's like, no, man, you gotta do it. You have to try it. At least try it, right? Try it before you like you deny yourself that. So I said, okay, sure. So I give it a shot, and I found that love again for drawing, and I was like, damn it, now I gotta commit to it.
Look what you did to me. Look what you did to me.
So I kept it up. I tried to get used to different platforms and stuff, because there was different art programs, but Clip Studio was the one that I stuck with because I like their layout, I like the way they set up, I like the way their tools work. So I kept it up with them, and I kept drawing from November to like January, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna sit here and wait like months to post it.
So how many episodes was that you had like in the chamber?
I definitely had like a good 5 or 6.
That's a good start though.
So, right? Yeah,
that gave you at least 5 weeks to kind of like get it figured out, you know?
Yeah. Preferably, I wanted to be like, I wanted to at first be like, yeah, let me be like 30 chapters ahead. And people were like, no, what are you doing? Like, go on and really post. Like, it doesn't matter about how many you have in your backlog. You should have like a fair amount.
So were you like suffering through like, a lot of people, they just keep piling up because they feel like it's not good enough to their standard. Were you going through like any of that too? Like kind of just like redrawing it and trying to make it better and better?
Yeah, I was. But the thing I learned about that's really important is this isn't the kind of thing where you could do your best to make it perfect. Like obviously, that's gonna be the thing. You want it to look good so people react good, but it will never be finished in your eyes. It will never be finished. So just when you see that it's good, put it out there. Don't sit there tweaking every fine detail like for days and days. Just post it. Like you have to eventually stop yourself.
So what is Eclipse? I mean, like what inspirations were behind this? And I guess if you had like an elevator pitch for it, what would that be?
An elevator pitch for Eclipse. I always have like trouble putting that, but an elevator pitch, honestly, I would say Chainsaw Man meets Hunter x Hunter. I think that it's a very good that's a very good example for it. Eclipse basically is a story about a girl who has the ability, she's immortal, she can't die, and so basically her mother, who happens to be leader of a death cult, happens to find out of this, and what are the odds? Really unlucky to get immortality in that position, but she's immortal. Her mom finds out that is her power, and so basically, instead of having to look for people to sacrifice to the cult and their god, she continuously sacrifices her own daughter over and over again. Girl gets tired of this, and she says, you know what, I'm done, I'm breaking out. And so after attempting to break out multiple times, she gets out, and she finds a hunter who hunts supernatural things called Leo, and they work together because they both have history with her mother, who is the Red Witch, and they decide together to get her down.
So at what point in the episodes do you kind of like break down that backstory? I mean, like is probably some part like within the arc, I would assume?
Yeah, it's relatively during the beginning. I want to say episodes 4 and 5.
That's probably why I missed it, because I only read episode 3.
Yeah, I like to give a little bit of build up, like I don't want to just shove information down your throat. I want to let the story and the art like explain itself a little bit, but so, I can get a little wordy sometimes.
With the first episode, titled Prisoner, rightfully so, we meet her, but we're not given a name yet. Like, what was your reasoning behind that? You kind of left her nameless, and we were introduced to the brothers, but nothing really much besides that.
I wanted to keep this air of mystery, because when I started, I was like, okay, like, those movies where a guy like crashes into like a car or whatever, and he's like, yep, that's me. And I thought about doing that, but I was like, no, because when I started doing the art, I kept it very wordless and somewhat like let it speak for itself. Yeah. And I kind of didn't want to say anything. I just kind of wanted to let the art speak for itself. It was like it came alive, and I was like, you know what? No names, no nothing. We're gonna just show. And afterwards, I felt she needed an intro, and I'm like, she's a very strong-willed person, so I wanted to let her introduce herself, not another person. You know,
Yeah, dude.
it felt right.
I really liked how she like kind of broke through from the spirit world to the real world. It reminded me, I just recently played and beat a game called Ghostfire Tokyo. I think you would probably love that game because it's like somewhat, it's not similar. I mean, it's just basically the concept is this guy's in Japan, and this dude is like it's insane. He comes up, he turns everybody into spirits, so it's kind of like he's like Yu Yu Hakusho, like a spirit detective. And like he could see these spirits, and then like they like transform into actual physical beings, and it's just insane. And what
the heck?
Yeah, and like this came out obviously this year, and your episode 1 came out like 2 years ago. So obviously yours came out. Maybe they got inspiration. There was like the Torii gates, like that Torii gate I seen that when she was running, she was like the first one. That's kind of like you go there for like the save points, and it opens up the map. So when I see
it, I was
serious?
Like,
swear, dude, it was awesome.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, this is awesome.
That's actually
it's
fire.
PlayStation 5, I think.
Ghostwire Tokyo, that's what you said it was called.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's see that.
I see you got that secret lab chair, so I was like, I gotta be a gamer.
Yeah, listen, man. I have games. I have a good amount of games. This looks really cool. I'm gonna save this actually. I wanna look into it.
I see. I knew when I read this, I was like, if he's a gamer, he's gonna fucking love this game.
Yeah, I've been playing like Elden Ring lately, and oh my god, dude, that game is freaking amazing. Like,
so I got to. I'm a Soulsborne fanatic. Like that's like right here. Like I got the Rock Lizard from Dark Souls 3. I got the Hunter right here. I got a wall full of Funko Pops, Ghost of Tsushima, all that. I beat Bloodborne Blood level 4, by the way, so not the flex, but
damn. Okay.
But yeah, Elden Ring was awesome. I got to the Fire Giant. Like on Twitch though, like I was talking earlier, I play AAA games when they drop. So like Kirby, the Forgotten Land came out, and Kirby smacked so much harder than Elden Ring. I was like, what is this?
It's Kirby, man. That game is intense.
But yeah, let's bring it back. I'm good at getting off tangent. So you are creating this. We're seeing her in episode 1 as a prisoner, and we kind of get an idea that they're looking for her. And you mentioned the sacrifice part, but you really don't touch too deep on it. Now we are introduced to her brothers. Who are her brothers, and what's their purpose for?
So her brothers are part of the cult, you know, them being kids of the Red Witch. They are tasked with the responsibility of maintaining the cult and making sure that everything goes solid. So when you have, you know, someone who's immortal, you basically don't have a body because the person's alive. Mm-hmm. You don't exactly have to go through the same kind of problems, I guess, in other stories or whatever, like that you would, like, you know, if, you know, it's like, oh my god, you know, we have victims and stuff. Like, there's no victim. Well, there is, but, you know, not for like police or other hunters to find. So due to that fact, they kind of can do whatever they want without the worry or need of a body, and they also keep their operations in the spirit world. So they have to maintain and make sure she's contained so they can continuously keep this process up. And in the story, I won't spoil it, but it looks like they are very close to achieving their goal. So it is very imperative at this point in time in the story for them, for her to be where she's supposed to be. So that's why there's a sense of urgency at the beginning of, hey, we need to get her back because this is really bad. This is really awful timing for this to kind of, you know, happen.
We have J. Michael Miller in the chat saying most of us comic creators are, as gamers. Yeah, hey, by the way, if you guys are gamers and you have a Switch, we are throwing weekly Mario Kart tournaments. So who's ever trying to get clapped, let me know.
Oh my god. Mario Kart.
Hey, if you get down, that invitation goes to you directly.
I am terrible at that game.
I'm like the type of guy, like, you throw that blue shell, I have an air horn waiting for it. So the second it tries to go around, I'm like, boom. Or I'll jump off a cliff. That's one of my favorite things. So like someone passes me and then they get hit because you recover faster jumping off a cliff.
I see. You're a menace. Understood.
Man, so in this though, we see her brothers actually, one of them come after her. And I was really surprised by this because the next episode we see her meet someone new named Leo, and he is a spirit hunter. So Leo, I mean, Leo looks like a badass. He handles himself pretty well in battle as well. So what's the story behind him? What's his full capabilities? And what are we looking at with Leo teaming up with this still unnamed character at this point?
So Leo teaming up with this girl. Leo serves at the beginning of the story as a purpose to show the reader what's going on in this world. What is this world? So Ava is kind of like the head point of the story. I kind of use her like as a battering ram, because Ava isn't exactly subtle.
No.
So she kind of she just runs through, right? Like you got episode 2, and from what I remember, there is an enemy and she just came me through and just smashed it, right? So she's very headstrong, very straightforward to the point. Leo is a more meticulous kind of hunter. He studies, he pays attention to things, he's very well-rounded when it comes to his knowledge before proceeding into whatever it is that he's trying to hunt. So when it comes to him, he kind of serves as a bridge to explain, hey, this is what I do, this is what these things are. If you see something that you don't understand, he's probably gonna know it. So
after they're able to defeat that thing, it turns into like an item. It kind of reminded me of like Berserk, like I can't pronounce it, but like the necklace.
Behelit. Yeah.
Is that? Did you draw inspiration from that, or where did that come from? Because it was such an interesting concept.
Honestly, I think I might have just drawn it. I wanted it to be like okay, like this is a terrible example. But I kind of wanted I called it a spirit ball, right? But I wanted it to kind of be like so in my head I wanted it to I didn't do it yet, but I have in the story they belong to the mother, the Red Witch, and she would throw them out, and they would turn into what they need to, kind of like a Pokemon, but like a deranged, messed up version of them. So, in a sense, I could say unconsciously.
It reminded me kind of like old school Power Rangers, like when they would make those enemies like on the conveyor belt, and then they would get bigger and then just go after the Power Rangers. Like that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up on.
Yeah. They're the things that the witch uses are very she's very, very meticulous about her plans. She doesn't want people to find out. She's not interested in people stopping her, and so she's going to be very careful. Like, one would sometimes think that the villain would go on and get out of the chair and do it, and at rare times she does, but in certain instances it's like, hey, you know what, I'm not trying to draw attention to myself, let me send a little something to see if I can take care of it. If not, we'll see what I can do about the problem. So
in episode 3, you mentioned the Red Witch, but we don't really get to see her yet. Now, over the course of like 57 episodes, you conclude the entire arc of the Red Witch, with episode 60 being the last one, and it just seems like so much went into that. How many pages per episode were you looking at, like, averaging?
Usually I try to keep it to 5 to 7 pages. My first 2 episodes are about 15 pages, but I also was trying to do it bi-weekly, so about 5 to 7 pages. Sometimes I'll break it and I'll go over, but I have to be careful to not go over my limit too often, because I don't want to give the notion that I'm doing like full manga requirement work. As much as I would love to do 15 pages a week, or like it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. I don't exactly have any assistants, and I have a job, so I have to hold myself back. So 5 to 7 pages is more reasonable.
So what led you to wanting to do, I guess, that, as opposed to maybe trying to do like 14 to 15 every 2 weeks, or even going farther and doing maybe like 30 once a month, kind of like giving yourself more of a window?
I'm impatient. To be completely fully honest.
No, that's fine.
Really
that's fine.
And,
hey, much respect for it though too, man.
I like to think that if it was me reading it, right, I would prefer more consistency, because I personally like seeing something come back again and again and again. Like, I enjoy seeing something come back. But I also understand not everybody's able to do that, myself included. I didn't know if I could. And, with my, I had a new job again, like I mentioned. I didn't know if I could continue doing that, but based on the way I looked at my schedule, I'm still able to continue doing that. But it was a matter of, preference. Do I want to go on and do this every couple weeks, or do I want to do it every week?
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it every week. Again, like it reminds me of when I woke up in the morning it's Saturdays to watch cartoons, cereal and stuff.
The best moment.
Right, you wake up to that new Power Rangers episode, and you're like, oh man, I wonder how they're gonna do it this time. So
I'm not that. See, when I was like a kid, like 3 or 4. When I was watching Saturday, we're talking like X-Men animated. We're talking Recess. We're talking like the OG stuff. Like, this man paid me out to be an old man here. So, I mean, what's stopping you from taking this to Kickstarter? Like, you got 60 episodes. That's 7 pages, like, times 60. I don't even, like, 240 pages. I off the top of my head, like, that's a graphic novel. Like, what's stopping you from taking this to print?
Well, I am actually looking to the process of printing right now. He's right now. No, keep it out there. Let the people know. I'm just looking at my options right now, because there are a lot of options. I've been considering. I haven't looked at Kickstarter yet, but I've been looking at maybe applying to cons and like going out of state to promote it, and go to bigger cons, because I know, like, for example, SuperCon is coming up soon, and that's something I know I could go on and do, but I don't have everything printed out yet, so I'm in the process of trying to put everything together. And once I'm able to do that, I print like a few hundred, and see what I can do with that.
You're gonna finance that like all out of pocket?
Unfortunately, yes. I wish there was I do what do you call it? Submit myself to like a company, like, hopefully, depending of because I very much take my stories very seriously. Yeah. And I would love to work for a company that is reasonable in a sense to like put out my work out there, and like sell like something, show people something, because I really, this is something I really want to show people. I'm really proud of it.
No, I really and we were talking about it earlier too. From episode 1 to episode 60, you noticed such improvements, not only the art but the format of the paneling, the dialogue. I mean, so you could see and trace your evolution from the first episode to 60. Almost serves as like milestones. Like, I mean, that has to be such like a remarkable feeling to be able to like go back to the very beginning and then look at the last page and just see like how much you've improved.
There is a dark part of me that's like, change it all, like, stop it, go on hiatus and like change the whole thing, and I'm like, no, I can't. So I've decided to leave them up and leave it alone, because there is I remember very, very well how I started this, and that I was completely and utterly in like I felt defeated. Like, I could not draw because I felt like I wasn't good enough. So it's up there not only to let myself see my own growth, but it's for other people to show, hey, listen, you don't have, like, not everybody starts off perfect. That there are some of us who are like, who could draw a perfect line, and I don't know, their nerve control is freaking like out of this world. Like,
couldn't be me,
breathe, right? Couldn't be me. Like, I need to breathe, but it's a statement to be like, it doesn't matter how good you are, just if you have the passion for it, if you have the love for it, it's gonna go crazy,
So like, what do you do to like work on improving your art? Like, have you taken classes? Have you like done different studies? Like, what all has led you to this point?
I don't take art classes. I've had bad experiences with it. Not to say don't take art classes. I mean, the teachers I had just were really they were very against what I liked to draw. They were all about realism, and like some of the teachers I had just hated fantasy things in general.
That has to be such a like, I don't even know how to put it in words. Like, it works against what you're trying to do. Like, why would you be crapping on any form of art when you're a teacher? I
didn't understand myself, but hey, it was what it was, and they were trying to show something, and I understood. There were things I learned there, and I can't say that they were I won't paint them out to be a villain or anything, but we just clashed a
Anti-hero.
lot. If you will, like, but we clashed a lot. And what I did, well, when I was a kid, I was not allowed to watch any anime, read manga, anything of the sort, until I was about 13 years old. Eventually, after begging and begging and being like, please let me, and they're like, fine, go ahead, read your comics, watch your anime.
Were you reading them anyways?
No, I wasn't. They were keeping
You're
a close eye
listening.
on me.
Okay.
They were keeping a close eye on me, man. The closest thing I had was some Sonic comics. Like, that was it. And so personally, I didn't really have a lot of like oh, my bad. Personally, I didn't have a lot of influence. Like, so a lot of the things that I had were just unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, they were myself. Like, I just kept to myself. But then I saw Naruto for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, this is different.
That's why you wanted to do this interview. I get it. That's why you wanted to do it. You see in the eyes, and you're like, all right, he's one of us.
Yeah, right. So after seeing all those things and pushing through, the influences I have nowadays for sure are definitely things like Berserk. I have like a bunch of Berserk books here. Berserk is one of them. Definitely different manga in general. Sometimes I'll go to stores and I'll just sit down and just read manga, and I'll just learn from them because I love black and white. I've always drawn in pencil and pen and paper. Like, that's just been my thing. Coloring is fun, but it scares me sometimes. It drives me crazy. So
well, that would like double the workload, right?
It does, yeah. And like, it's fun to do, but I know my niche, and my niche is black and white. For whatever reason, I don't really understand myself. And even though I can do good with color, I love black and white. I don't know why, but I can't tell you. That's my thing.
So where we kind of broke down the Red Witch arc, where are you heading next? Like, what you took a little hiatus, and I guess without spoiling too much, just like a little taste. Like, where can we see this pair go next?
So after the Red Witch, to not spoil too much, they are low on money, so they are looking for a bigger job. At the end of the arc, they deal with massive threats that I won't spoil. I would highly recommend. If you do like gods, though, you're gonna see a particular god that it's really, really fun in a certain mythos. But at the end of the arc, after dealing with the threat, they have the director of hunters speak to them briefly. But this isn't on screen. It's more of an off-screen thing, and there's a reason for that. In the new arc, they are looking for work, and the director approaches them again, offering them a new job because it seems to be that there's something to do with demonic presence. So I'll let your mind go, explore where you think that's going to go there.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there's going to be a lot more. I do plan on expanding the world a lot more. I felt like I was holding myself back because I had to introduce a lot of things. But now you guys are acquainted. I can go as far as I want. Now
it's over. It's game over. The gloves come off. So what's your average day look like creating this? I mean, like, you get off work, like, you do your job, and then you go and do the job you actually love to do. Like, what do you do first? Do you come up with the script first? Do you come up with the art first? Like, how's the average day look for someone as a writer, creator for a webtoon comic?
So usually what I do is I have the idea in my head. Like, if I want to have an arc or something, I take an idea and I see I ask myself, how far can I go with this, right? And so I get to thinking. Most of the work is done in here, and I just write a bunch of notes on my phone. Or
so what do you do when you're at work?
On a notepad.
You sneak off
when I'm at work
and get on the phone.
Hey, listen. I'm not confirming or denying anything. All I'm saying is that can't hate another man's operation, but I do have a tendency to drift and let myself think about my story. And if I have a notepad at my job, so I will scribble like an idea. I'll go, oh man, that's a great idea, and then I'll write it down real quick. So like, it's after writing it down, you kind of take it, you post it somewhere, you hold on to it, and you kind of let your mind go. Afterwards, I'll build something around it, of what I want to tell. I put some cool moments here, put some things there. I will make a very, very short script. This is not something I recommend. Please make your script. Like, like if that's what works for you. Me, I'm not good at brainstorming. I'm not good at scripting. Like, I
Hmm.
just kind of go. I'm like a dog chasing a car. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get the car, but I go. So um I take my idea and I run with it. And I think about it before I go through with it, but
Hmm.
a lot of the times I find myself cornered and I think, how do I bring my characters out of this? Because I like to make my characters smart. So the issue is I can't put something dumb in there, like have the character go away. I wonder how to get out of it. I
Yeah.
can't do that because I've already established certain things in the world. So I like to think that I am my character sometimes, and I think,
Hmm.
how would I get out of this position? Which in turn actually makes a better story, in my opinion. When I
Do you
think
find
that
yourself like writing yourself in like a corner like that? Like,
very
because I
often.
mean, with doing it weekly and doing so many episodes, I mean, it has to be expansive.
Very often, but I do have a script of, hey, this is plan A, so pretend plan A doesn't exist and try to find your way out of there.
Hmm.
Worst case scenario, I have a good normal, I have a good productive method of dealing with the threat or whatever it is in the story, but I find it more fun to be abstract and just go crazy and be like, hey, let's pull something out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And, of course, reasonably, because, like a random plot MacGuffin coming out of nowhere is no fun, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Unless it's a threat to both the villain and the hero. Then, I mean, I
Okay. Hey,
understand.
you might be. Are you giving away something there?
Hey, listen, man, I tell what I say. So, I mean,
Hey, I got that habit of doing it too. I mean, dude, I gotta give you kudos though, because when I'm at work, I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I don't create comics, but I'm like replying to people. Sometimes these threads take hours to reply through or go through, and so I'm very adamant on getting through it. And I find myself at work, reading comics or listening to other podcasts about being a better podcaster. Like, I'm doing all that like in the middle of work and stuff, and I get the work done. It gets done. I do what I'm paid for.
I hear
Um,
you.
so yeah, I can respect that a lot, and I think the process is really interesting. So I want to ask you a question real quick for anyone that's kind of out there with their webtoon, and they're kind of just, I guess, like struggling to get it started. Like, what would you say to them to kind of just get going with it and get their idea to the webtoon site?
Dude, just start. That is my advice to you. Start and literally just practice. Like, that's the worst thing. I hate hearing it, but let me be definite proof. Like, if you do read my webtoon, if anybody reads my webtoon from here,
Which
let
that's
episode
free in the
one.
comment, by the way. Not to interrupt people, but sorry.
Yes.
It's free. You can check it out. I have the link down below. If you go to YouTube or Facebook, you can actually click in the description and click on the link right there, and it's free to read. So I want to ask you a question about that as well when you're done.
Sure. Yeah, so just start. Practice is what makes perfect, honestly. You're never gonna be perfect. It doesn't exist,
Mhm.
like, but be to the best that you can. But let my comic be literally a prime example of practice makes perfect, because the difference between episode 1 and, I'll say, episode 43, because I think it's one of my favorite ones that I've
Yeah.
done so far. Let that growth show that if you put your mind to it and you really actually just practice, you keep drawing, you will get where you want to get to.
That was
What was
awesome,
your
man.
question?
So yeah, sorry for interrupting, but because you mentioned it and I wanted to ask it, but I forgot it. So this is 100% free, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
how do you are you earning any income from it? Like, where do you how are you able to I guess sustain any sort of money from it? Or are you just doing this 100% out of passion?
I am doing it out of passion, but I most definitely do. I would love to, get monetization from it. So would have to work a job. Like I could just, that would be my job.
Yeah.
As of right now, no, I'm not making any monetary like income from it. I would definitely want to, but that's definitely up to the platform.
Yeah.
Once
So
you get a sort about, yes.
Have you ever heard of coffee?
Of coffee?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, coffee's like it's I don't know. You know,
So I use coffee. I use coffee. So basically, like with Twitch, I make money from it, and I'm able to like cycle that back in. So like, I've been doing it long enough to where I'll earn enough income. I could buy the new games when they come out. It like kind of just self funds that. But for keeping it geekly, in order for me to be able to stream to Twitch, I can't be affiliated, so I can't make money through Twitch. So I was like, if I want to come up with a way to make money, like how am I going to do that? And then Coffee is a really good platform. It's kind of like Patreon, but you get 100% of what people pay you. So and they set it up. They could do $1 a month. They could do $5 a month, $10 a month. And maybe you could do something where you do like a preview of the page, you know, because you do this weekly. So you can give them that extra, you know, they're for $5 a month, they're paying for like a couple of days extra of a preview, you know. And that could be a real quick, easy way for you to start monetizing like today. Because it seems like you have some people supporting you. Like there was a lot of people in the comments hyped for the interview and for you to get out there and like chat. So, I mean, your community wants to support you. They're probably just looking for a way to do so, you know?
That is true. You know, I never like asking, you know, but
it's so
you know,
hard,
like,
isn't it? It's so hard.
I don't want to be a sellout, you know, but at the same time, you know,
is it a sellout chasing your dream?
Not really. That's what I'm saying. So it's like if I do want to chase my dream and I want to produce even more because I want to do as many pages as possible, but at the same time, I have to, you know, watch for myself. I can't work and do this at the same time, like 100%. Otherwise, I'm just gonna crash. So
and I mean. That was what was interesting because with Kickstarters, that's where a lot of these comic creators, they can pocket a little, you know, it's not going to make a living for them, but they can pocket a little change here and there, or they can sell a couple books here and there physically or digitally. So I was just curious, you know, not that you need to make income from it, but like just like maybe plans to do so in the future. And I'm glad we had this talk because, you know, you were able to learn a little bit more about coffee. I just started about a month or two ago. But it's easy, and the thing is, like, people just forget about it, you know. So they set up.
Write it down right now, so I don't forget about it.
KO-FI.
Got it. Okay.
Like for me, so I got a tier on there for $1. People can buy me a coffee. So self-explanatory. And then I got another one, $5. You can buy me a comic. Someone backed that. So each month I take that $5. I back a campaign with it. And then for $10, you can just back the podcast. That's just the way that for me. I give like previews of upcoming interviews and stuff. I don't have a lot I can offer, but you are a creator. You're an artist. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, once you get to a certain point, like do special fan, like a drawing of someone, a head sketch or something. I don't know.
Sure,
you know. There's a lot that you can do to monetize it, and I'm stoked. I'm happy to see that you have plans to make this a book, because it definitely has that potential to be something big, to be a huge graphic novel. And I'm stoked. I was really, you know, able to sit down and read the first 3 episodes. I wanted to read more. It's good enough to entice me to read more.
Thank you.
So I gotta give you kudos for that, man, especially with this being your first big project and everything. How does it feel to like go from, you know, starting out writing books to this?
Honestly, it feels really good because I know that comics was my thing. It's always been my thing. So don't deny yourself. Like, you know, like that's the one thing I have to say. Like, if you want to do one thing, go completely and utterly like crazy for it. Go jump for it. You know, worst case, you know, I mean, you fall and guess what? Okay, you learn something, get back up and try again. You know, like
No, that's awesome,
how I feel
dude.
about it.
Hey, well, I think right here is a perfect time for us to wrap this up. I really appreciate you stopping on and hanging out with us. Everyone that's been watching, I hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. Stay tuned. We have another one coming hot at you, 6 p.m. EST. Today's the double hitter. Wednesdays are the big days. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to be taking a little bit of R&R, hanging out, cleaning the house, hopefully mowing the lawn, doing the dad stuff. I hope you have a fantastic time too. Are you on PlayStation?
Yes, I am actually.
PlayStation 5?
PlayStation 5, yeah.
We're gonna have to link up. Hold on, we're right. You know, I just picked up this thing. This thing is so fire. I love the purple on it.
Oh my gosh, I have a black one right now. Actually, like I got a white one.
I got the red and the purple. I had to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get your PSN. We're gonna have to link up because
Sure.
might have to clap those cheeks in Elden Ring. I don't know.
Hey man, I play Apex. So I'm,
I don't do Apex.
You don't do Apex? No, not it. No, come on, man. You gotta try. You gotta try.
You're not like the 50,000 other Twitch streamers that play nothing but Apex.
Oh man.
And we got J. Michael Miller in the chat saying, "Have a good day, guys." I hope you have a good day as well, J. Michael. With that being said, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Stay tuned though. I'm gonna be chatting with you a little bit after we end the interview. So with that being said, guys, take it easy. Most importantly, keep it geekly.